Hey guys, I wanted to talk about this new editor called Casa AI. So it's an AI fast code editor. So I don't know if you've heard about Copilot. So Copilot calls itself an AI pair programmer. So let's say you can have, I can add a comment here, like a handle error comment. So when I press the enter key, so Copilot knows what I want to do and can return the code that I would have written from scratch. So Casa does almost the same thing. So we are on Casa, by the way. So we're going to test a few of their features just to see how different it is with Copilot in regards to code generation and the validity of the code that it generates. So I think what we should do is generate a new, add a new feature and let Casa generate all the code that new feature will have. So in this app, in the home page here, we are showing it's just an album list, a list of albums with their name and their image. So what we may want to do is create a similar page, but for a list of artists. So I want it to access from the artists page, which should fall because we haven't implemented yet. Yeah, so let's generate this page using Casa. So what do we need? So the first thing we need is create a new page. Let's create artists page.jsx. So to start generating code, you use Control K and then you provide instructions on what you want to provide. So let's tell it to generate all relevant code, right? And we can give it a reference on where to check when generating the code. So use an art and then files. So you want to generate a similar page to the home page, that home page. So we can add a few, maybe a context like this is an artist search page and press enter. So as you can see, it's generating code as one error I'm seeing here is it's inside some backticks. Okay, looks like it's done. So let's accept that code and remove this backticks. The code looks correct. Let's open this one at the side by side. Like it has taken this as its inspiration. So instead of search albums, it has generated the search artists function, and then the function is called the artists page, and then it has used the same code you have used here, but instead of doing an API search, it's using an API search artists with the query string, the same thing we are doing here, and then displaying the data, the same thing. So I think we're on the right track. The next thing we need to implement here is this API route. This is the API search artists route. So in our API folder, we have a search and so this is the normal album search. Let's create the artists one. So artists root.js. So we're going to do the same thing, generate a similar file to this, but use artists as the data instead of albums. So the same thing we did, Control L. What command did we use to generate? So L is for charting code, K. Yeah, just Control K. So let's use a different wording this time. Let's say add all relevant code and use the search route as a reference for artists search. It's weird that it starts everything with these backticks. I don't know. I don't think my prompt is right. So accept and then remove that. Yeah, so it's using the artist JSON, generating the same amount of code, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so let's save it. We're just going to assume that everything is correct because you're going to test it. So the artist search route is working and the artist list should be working. So let's go to the browser and see if something is happening. Yeah, sure. Looks like it's searching and displaying. Oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah, this is acceptable. So this is almost the same as the album page. It has just swapped the artists with the albums, all without us writing a single line of code. So that's a bit impressive. I don't know if does pagination work? I don't think I've implemented it yet. Yeah, it doesn't work. It goes to the home page. Can you try getting it to work? Let's see. So what does the pagination function do? So it uses the home page. So this one, I think we don't want to write a single line of code. So let's just highlight this piece here and then click edit. So you want it to accept base URL prop. Yeah, let's just accept the base URL prop. So control enter to accept. Okay, I could have just typed it myself. Okay, and another place is here. So you want to use the base URL, push to the base URL instead of the root URL. So let me try something. I can just say that this is wrong and see what it does. Yeah, and it has corrected it. So control enter, it has corrected the page. So what we need to do in the album search page, we just need to provide, I don't want to type anything. So add base URL. And that looks correct. So control enter to accept. Okay, let's test this. So you are at the artists page. And let's look at the pagination. So page 2. So you go, something is wrong. It looks like some artists don't have an image. So what we can do, we go back to the search page, this page. So this is so let's just tell it let's say some results don't have an image URL. This is not what we want. So let's reject this and do some sort of check for the whole component here with the same prompt, like don't show anything for results that don't have an image. Yeah, that makes sense. So control enter to accept. Yeah, let's try this. Yeah. Oh, that check is wrong because, okay, let's update the prompt. So you're doing a check. The image can be empty or no. You can continue using GPT-4 by subscribing to Pro or entering your OpenAPI key. Otherwise, you can stay on a free plan. No, just switch to 3.5. So what am I supposed to do here? Maybe cancel and try to regenerate again. Control K. The image can be empty. Interesting. So it doesn't so there's no follow-up instructions, but when I press enter, it uses Copilot with this check. I don't know what this is called. That should fix our issue. Yeah, so it looks like pagination works. Yeah, it works. And this is just a simple case. Yeah, so I don't think we have written a single line of code apart from adding this question mark here. So it has generated most of our code for us. Imagine if you had a larger code base and you don't want to keep repeating the same amount of logic over and over while recreating new files and everything. It's going to be very useful for such a case. So another feature I would like to look at is the chat with your code feature. So if you go to, say, the page, like this page, and we highlight a piece of code, there is this chat here that is Control L. You prompt with Control L. So I would ask it like, what does this code do? So the code you provided defines an asynchronous function named search albums. This function takes a URL as a parameter. Yes, it does. Inside the function, it performs an HTTP request to the specified URL using the fetch function. Yes, it does that. It then waits for the response to be received and converts it to JSON format using response.json method. Yes, it does. And finally, it returns the JSON data. In summary, this code is a function that fetches data from a specified URL and returns the response in JSON format. So if you're entering a new code base or you're new to the code base as a whole, you can chat with your code and ask it questions about what it does, what a specific function does. I think we can chat with the whole file, like ask it what should we start a new, what does this file do? So I think it will scan the whole file. This file is a React component named page.jsx. It exports a function component called home that takes a prop search params. Yes, it does that. The home component renders a search page with pagination functionality. It uses the uses Jaguar hook, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's correct. Yeah, we have encountered a few cases where it was wrong, but it has been correct most of the time. So the best features it has, you can chat with your code, you can generate code, and you can fix errors in your code, which is just brilliant. Yeah, I think that's all I have for you at this time. So see you in the next video.